Hello, everybody. Well, this is going to be a little bit strange. Now, what I saw and what happened are two different things. This is the story of Sacrifice Cliff. This comes from an old Native American legend that two members of this tribe called the Crow tribe arrived. They were in their village from a trip they went that they found out that almost everyone had been infected with smallpox and they had died. It said that they were so heartbroken about it. The story about their loss of their loved ones, and the two decided to just commit suicide. So what they did was they blindfolded horses and just ran them off a cliff. Now this cliff, Sacrifice Cliff, is visible for everywhere in Billings. Looms over the entire city. And they say it's a bit spooky. Now, this is going to be a little bit fantastical. There are going to be some things that are not true. I'm just telling you from a story right now. This is just a story, and nothing but a story. So deal with it. Alright, this is what happened. B, Sarah, and Jim came from one place to another place in Montana, as usual. This time, it's in Billings, Montana. Now, they say there is a story about the cliff that two Native Americans decided to commit suicide after finding out their entire village had died of smallpox. Now, me and Sarah and Jim, we wanted to go check this out because there've been stories of it. Now, if this happened, we're not sure. Now, what location, we're not sure. Where they start their run and where they finished it, we're not sure. Well, we're sure where they finished it, off the cliff. So, we decided to pack up our gear, head up the Billings, and then camp. See if we could get any recordings or anything. Sightings or anything. I got a couple of sightings saying sometimes over here hoof, of horses running across the cliff and then just suddenly stopping. Some say they've seen ghosts, mythical, ghosts, horses, and their riders riding off the cliff. Others say they see footprints of a horse leading off the cliff. I want to see if we can catch anything. Anything magical, fantastical, or anything. Phantasmic, something of the sort. So, we hooked up ground cameras. We've hooked up sound equipment. We did all this during the day, and at night we would, take watch. Others would not. One would take watch, others would sleep. For a day we're going to decide to do this. So we weren't sure if we were being told truth or not. So what we read, was it true or was it not? So we waited for about an hour or two. We take shifts and stuff like that. Shifts back and forth. One night during that week, we decided to stay about a week up there. Sarah started hearing footsteps, stuff like that. Hoof steps, like a horse starting to gallop. It'd pick up pace till it got to the edge of the cliff. She saw maybe something that looked kind of like a phantom horse. She said it was more like fog lifting, more like the fog lifting as something was going through the fog. And as she heard it, it was horse. Sounded like a horse galloping through the fog and then off the cliff. She saw glimpses of the horse, but it was still in the fog. But it was not a living horse. Jim caught it. Hopefully we were catching on camera. Jim looked at the camera. We've caught a little bit. We caught the sound and everything, but nothing major, nothing that would be hard proof. Because it was all sound. We didn't catch the mist. We didn't catch the horse, as she said, so it was just hearsay from her. Which, when I said that to her, she slapped me. She was still pissed about that incident in Alaska. I don't know why she was pissed about that incident in Alaska. I was the one that got hurt, not her. But we carried on, and we decided to get more sound equipment hooked up. Because if we were just going to hear it, we wanted to get it on camera. Whatever, we could get it on. We wanted it to be perfect. Because what we needed it to be was not perfect. The sound source, the cameras, they weren't picking up everything that we needed to pick up. They were picking up everything else. So we had to hook up enough sound equipment, just sound equipment, not video, just audio. Once we hooked that up, we were thinking, okay, maybe we got this. Maybe we got this audio right, this audio running perfectly. Because if we didn't have it running the right way, it would screw us up. And we knew it. We couldn't give this to the town and say, okay, we screwed up. No, we had to give them what they asked for. Sound equipment, the sound. If we're going to catch sound, we need sound. We also hooked up one camera. The camera we were only using the camera for audio, not video. Because while we were getting was video, and we weren't getting no audio. It's not what we needed. We wanted audio, not video. So once we hit up the audio, boosted it a bit. Jim's a genius with audio and video equipment. That's why he's along for the ride. Once we hooked it up and got everything running, we waited and waited. Then it started. From one part of the canyon to the cliff, it started getting louder and louder and louder and louder to us, right up on us, to where you could hear the horse breathe. The horse snorting as it went by. And then it ended at the cliff. Now, was this proof that this happened? No, it wasn't. Was this proof that there's something paranormal going on? Maybe, somewhat. Like I said, we only caught audio without proving anything that this is a horse that's doing this. We couldn't prove that it happened. That what we caught on audio happened. So we went to the closest place we went to. Closest place we could. We went to a ranch somewhere in Montana. I don't know the name of it. And caught a horse. We asked the owner of the ranch if we could catch one of his horses, galloping, the sound of it, and the horse breathing. If we could do that with, some recording equipment. He was more than happy to do so. So we caught this horse galloping and stuff like that, breathing and all that, snorting, whatever horses do, to have a match, to make it say, okay, yes, this is a horse doing this. So what we did is that Jim hooked up the audio equipment and everything. We did the recording, and then he tried the match recording of the paranormal to the normal, I guess you want to say. It worked perfectly. It was like, wow. It almost matched. It's just that the living horse snorted louder than the dead horse. So then we took that to the mayor of the city, and gave him the recording of the real horse, the living horse, and paranormal. He was livid. He was excited. Of course, he bought it. We got a one-way ticket, and then we got a ticket out of town. We were on to our next case. Wherever that would lead us in Montana. With that said, thank you for listening. I hope my audio is working great, because that's all I'm using as audio. I bought a mic. I'm hoping it works perfectly fine. From the other cues I've heard, it was working great. So, yeah. Trying to buy new equipment, making sure it all works. Second recording with this thing, so the first recording sounded pretty good. So, second one, I'm hoping it sounds just as good. But yeah, I got one more for you guys for Montana, and then I don't know. I'll see where I go from there. Well, the team goes from there. So, ladies and gentlemen, good luck, good night, and God bless.